So our first example asks us to classify all of these bonds as polar, nonpolar, or ionic. And for polar bonds, show the polarity with an arrow. And so the first one here is CLF. This one is going to be polar because remember that we look for essentially our diatomic elements, and fluorine is always polar with everything else. And we know that fluorine has the highest electronegativity, so that is going to get the delta negative symbol. Chlorine is going to get the delta positive in this case. Remember, you could also use an arrow if you prefer. I'm not going to do all of these with arrows as well, but just to remember, you could also do it that way. The next one is cesium and bromine. This one's going to be ionic. And again, our rationale here is that cesium's a metal, bromine's a nonmetal. And so you could put real charges on this if you'd like. The directions don't say you have to do that, but the cesium would be positive, the bromine would be negative. Next one's CH. This one's going to be nonpolar. And our reasoning here is that we do not have fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine, bromine, or iodine, which are going to be the elements that primarily give us our nonpolar bond or our polar bonds. And so again, we can look at the table to get our numbers, but this one's going to be nonpolar. And then lastly, CN. This one is polar. Again, nitrogen is the key here. We recognize nitrogen. It's one of the most electronegative elements there is. It's actually third on our list after oxygen and fluorine. And so being more electronegative than carbon, it is going to get the negative charge, partial negative charge.